Finally back on Cookie Monster today. We've been sanding on this cab for the last 2 days, got it flipped over on its back, and been grinding and getting everything prepped out. So, as you guys saw in the last couple videos, we sandblasted it, and then we started doing the metal repair, which is what all this is. It's all new floors from Auto Metal Direct, new rockers, cab corners, all that fun stuff. But since we got it on its back, what we're gonna do is go ahead and seam seal all these welds and then hit it with an epoxy primer. And the goal today is to get it covered in this lizard skin, sound deadener, and insulation. I bought this stuff a couple months ago, and I think it's paintable. I need to go back through and read it and make sure, but you put it on with this like siphon-fed cup gun. It goes on real thick like a bed liner, and then once that's all dried and nice and neat, we'll go ahead and paint it the body color. All right, first things up, let's go ahead and hit this with a seam sealer. So pretty much with a seam sealer, we're just going back over all the welds and any panels that are overlapping. I just want to make sure we don't have any moisture intrusion. Using that old SEM black seam sealer. 3M makes some. I mean, all kinds of different companies make some. Just hit it with some wax and grease remover here. Let's get her smoothed out. Now, if I was doing this on a panel that was more exposed, that would take a lot more time making sure this all looks nice and neat. But because this is all gonna be under the truck and we're putting a textured coating over this, I'm not really concerned with it. I just want it to be kind of flat, so when the textured coating goes over it, it's hidden. And I think that's it. I think we move on to the next step. This stuff's tacking up now. It's almost ready for the epoxy primer. So I'm gonna go ahead and wipe it down with this wax and grease remover. And once we do that, we should be ready to spray. We got our black epoxy primer in here. Steve mixed it up and let it set for 15 minutes, right? Yep. It's a little colder today. Did you reduce it anymore?
I put fast reducer in it.
Oh, okay.
So that way it dries faster.
Cool.
Yep.
Yep, so the goal is to get this sprayed out today, and then we actually gotta wait 24 hours between coats. We'll get to it later. Steve's about to go nuts on this thing. What the heck?
Time out.
Yeah, also, here's a tip, kids. Don't ever look down in the tip of your paint gun while it's plugged in to the air supply.
What?
I've had a buddy, it exploded in his face before.
There we go.
Yeah, buddy. Woo, gotta let that air out a little bit. All right, got our epoxy primer on. You can see it's still drying. It's nice and shiny here. Should be nice and dull like that. But when you're applying this lizard skin, you do the first coat of sound control. It's gonna be the heavier one. And like I said, you use this siphon-fed gun that you can get this with a kit from Lizard Skin, and it goes on pretty dang thick. So I was gonna do the bottom and the top of the floor, but I think I'm just gonna do the bottom of the floor because we're gonna paint the bottom of the floor and the cab with the SEM rust shield, and you're not supposed to top coat the SEM rust shield. So we're gonna put that on, and then the sound deadener like Dynamat's gonna go on top of that, probably with their foam insulation, and then like ultra plush carpet and all that stuff. So the cab should be pretty dang quiet, I do believe. I wonder if I could put this on the back of the cab where you're not gonna see it. Maybe. Anywho's, let that dry. We'll mix it up and then. All right, we got it all mixed up here. We're gonna start out at 50 PSI. Doing a light, basically a tack coat. You're not gonna put it on super heavy. You gotta wait for that to dry before you can put on your other coats. Got our first coat on, our tack coat. I set the gun up to spray a little more material out. Start laying this on. I got a question for you. What do you think about using this on the rear of the cab on the outside? Because you're not going to see it, and I think it would really help with the.
I would go
like on the inside of that seam.
yeah, and then like 4 inches down from the top.
I was thinking about doing it like where the louvers stop.
Oh yeah.
You know, then you got that. I mean, it's pretty much like what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about doing that because that would help with like cab noise and stuff. Like I'll still do the sound deadener and insulation on the back wall, but we could spray this and then kind of have both sides done, you know? Just the outside on the bottom. Because I need to do some rust repair on the floor. That's looking pretty dang good. So it's been pretty cold in Florida lately, but hopefully this will dry enough to do the ceramic insulation tomorrow. And then once we do that, Steven had the bright idea to go ahead and order some paint and top coat this thing. So hopefully by the end of the week, we'll have the floor painted and done. And when we roll this thing back over, we won't have to tilt it back again. Because I tell you, it's not, tilting the cab back's not for the faint of heart. I get real worried about, you know, damaging it and all that stuff, or a screw rolling under it, messing up the body, you know. Back at the shop, it's been 24 hours. I want you guys to check this finish out. It is nice and solid. It looks super nice too. I gotta say, I did this, I think I told you, I did this on the C10 about 3 years ago, and it is very durable. So this is just the sound deadener part. So now we're gonna spray on the insulation, which is this little guy right here. It's significantly lighter than the other gallon over there. But we'll do a heavy coat of this, pop it open, mix it up, do the same application as we did for this texture here. And then Megan was doing some research. She said it's got to sit for like 3 days before we could top coat it. So we got some tropical turquoise on order from Auto Aura, right? Yeah. Auto Aura. We're gonna do a single stage on the bottom since we have this this coating on it. And then also I think we might do this on the back of the cab and the bottom of the bed. Not for the bed liner, but on the bottom of the bed so everything matches and it's uniform. And whoever buys this truck's gonna drive it. They freaking better drive it because that's what it's meant for. So we wanna have a nice durable finish, painted the body color. It's gonna be real pretty. Let's put this insulation on here real quick. Stop yapping and get to work. Oh yeah, looks like roofing tar. Yeah. Well, it's Sunday. We're gonna be here for a little bit. Steven's got the gun loaded up with some of that single stage tropical turquoise. We're gonna top coat this thing, man. I'm pretty excited about it. Yeah. Heck yeah. Same thing, you did a little bit of reducer and some hardener in there. Sure, yep. Mix it all up and then it's gonna go nuts, right?
Yep.
Sweet.
Let's do it.
We got full coverage in only 2 coats of that single stage paint. We did the first coat, let it tack up, hit it with a second coat. Man, that is looking good. Seeing the body color on this cab for the first time has got me super excited. Next week, we're gonna start body working the cab, hopefully get it under primer, and then be doing the paint in the next couple of weeks so we can get the cab back to the shop so I can start doing the wiring, plumbing, and all that fun stuff. Also, guys and gals, I wanna apologize for the lack of content on Cookie Monster, finally getting around to getting this thing in the right direction. I've also been saving my pennies, getting ready to do a whole bunch of ordering for the rest of the parts I have to buy for this truck. So I want to take a moment to say thank you to everyone who's been supporting the channel, buying the merch, and just so you guys and gals know, I just restocked on all of my merchandise and dropped some limited edition camo hoodies. So if you guys and gals want to support the channel and see this project through the end, if you could hop on over to yeahbuddygarage.com, buy some super sweet merch, I would greatly appreciate it. As always, I appreciate you hanging around and watching these videos. I'll see you in the next one.